So, progress has been happening, but something's changed. It's nearly engine swap time. So it's going to change a few of my plans, and I'm going to show you why very soon. So, in the last couple of weeks since I filmed the last video, there's been two new cars bought in the camping household. One is for the wife and one is for my son. I'll show you a little bit of my son's car at the end. It's going to be his first car, needs a little bit of work, so we're going to work on it together and put some few little videos together of his car, which will be quite fun. Needs a suspected head gasket failed to look at, and a few other little bits and pieces, not much. So that'll be fun. The other car, we replaced the wife's car. She's had a 2004 Zafira for quite a long time now. We've had it.
Thank you again.
We've had it nearly 7 years. It's been a great car. It's been really good. It's been reliable. Works, starts perfect every time. She's wanted a better car, more modern car for a little while, and the opportunity came up to buy one. So we've been out and bought her a Vauxhall Mocha. It's not my kind of car, but she's happy with it. So I've still got my BMW MIini and my Volvo, so she's happy with the Mocha. It's got that nice high up driving position and a few extra toys and bits and pieces in it that the Zafira didn't have, so that's ideal. But that leaves the Zafira for me to do what I want with, and the plan is to relieve it of some items for the MIini. So the Zafira is a 1.6 16 valve X16XE engine. I believe they ran from around the mid-90s up to about 2005 in things like Zafiras, Corsas, Vectras, maybe other things, I don't know. They were what was in the Corsa GSI, a 1.6 litre Zafira, Vectra, a few other bits and pieces. So I think as far as the Vauxhall Ecotec engines go, it's a better one than some of them. Some of them are a bit crummy compared to their predecessor, the old 8 valves and the red top that came before them. So I like the 1.6 16 valve. It seems quite revvy. It's using a little app on the phone. It gets the Zafira to 60 in 12 seconds. So that's already 2 seconds faster than the MIini. So it should be quite a good little addition. So for now, I've got this little trolley I found at Wilko's to put the engine on. I've got a few bits built back up on the engine. I've got the blanking plate over the where the heater tap would go there. Put a bit of fresh paint on a few bits and pieces so it's looking a bit fresh. Reinstalled that. Reinstalled the starter with a bit of paint on. We've got the new clutch arm and pin. New clutch fitted, flywheels back on, covers back on. We've got a sandwich plate on here under the thermostat with the SPI style radiator bracket. That I think is all about ready to go back in the car. So the decision I've got to make now with the car is whether to continue with the relocation of the wiring loom like I was planning, or to just put the wiring loom back in the factory position, because if I'm going to do an engine swap, I'm going to be pulling apart and relocating the wiring loom anyway. So I think what I'm going to do is put the wiring loom back in the factory position and run it back under the bulkhead, which, as you can see, I've got this soundproofing thing on, which is rubbish. I'll explain a bit more about that later. Just put the wiring back in the normal place for now, and then I can I'm going to have to get rid of a load of it anyway for putting a Vauxhall engine in. So I want to get the car built back up, get the engine back in, get it running. I want to see the difference that it's soundproof in this piece, and I'm changing some of the soundproofing inside the car as well. Just want to see what a difference all that makes to the sound coming from the A series. So today I'm going to go through a few of the changes that I've made and do a little bit more work, perhaps get the subframe bolted back on, steering rack bolted back on the car, and we can progress towards getting the engine back in the car. And then while I'm doing all that, I can make my mind up what to do with the wiring. So come along for the journey, and let's see by the end of it if we've come up with any decisions about the wiring. and I'll show you the donut car and my son's car at the end of the video as well. So that time lapse was a bit of a fail, wasn't it? I was hoping to do a time lapse of what the next bit of the job was, which I've now completed. Better turn the lights on in here. Yeah, I was hoping to do a time lapse of getting the subframe bolted in and the engine back in the car, which, as you can see, has now happened. It's only sat on the mount. I've not got the stabiliser on or anything. I've got a load of other bits and pieces to do first, but yeah, that really didn't quite work out how I'd planned. So I'm going to take you for a wander outside now. I mentioned in a video a while back I was going to show you where I want a garage to be built, so I'll do that, and I'll give you a quick look at my son's car and the donut car that the engine's going to come out of for this one. So we'll go and have a little look. Volvo's recommissioned for use. We've got, this is James's car, and this is the donor Zafira X16 XE. Bit of a mess. But it's a car and it works, and that's my R50. And this is the space that I'd like to build a garage. As you can see, it's a reasonable size. It fits in. I don't think I've quite come to right at the front of the house, but fits the Zafira and that Mini in next to each other, so it's a pretty good size. I think I'll be able to get my Volvo and my blue Mini in if we get a garage built here, but I think come up to there, all the way across, all the way back, should be quite nice. It is freezing out there. I'm quite conscious of this video already being quite long. I think we're heading towards 6 minutes. So I'm going to do a little bit more work on the car, but first I'm going to show you a little bit more of the work that I've already done to the car since the last video. So let me find something to provide a bit of light and then we can have a look. There is stuff everywhere. Right, I've got a light, so I'll swing you around a bit. So I've got the brake and clutch master cylinders refitted and a new pipe made for each of those. I've got the wiper motor fitted, screen wash bottle and pump fitted, but I'm going to remove those again because I'm going to take this back off again, because this is a soundproofing piece. Come from Mini Spares for only like 20 quid, but that's supposed to be stuck to there, but you can see a load of fluffy bits stuck to it, but not there. You meant to glue this down to the car, but I don't think it's going to be necessary. But yeah, that's pretty poor. And then they've got these slits in which don't line up in the right place, and that one's the same on that side. That doesn't line up, and then you can, that's, I guess we're passing the wiring through. So I'm going to take that off so I can feed the wiring back through and do all that. So my plan is I've got this on here, and then I've done the lower half so far. You'll have to excuse the mess in here, it's a bit messy, but I've put some 10mm soundproofing foam down at the bottom there, which I'm going to put across the top as well, top of the bulkhead as well, just to try and improve things and quieten it down a little bit. I did have that stuff there underneath the carpet, so I've got some more closed cell foam to go underneath there that I'm going to put across the front here, and I'll probably have the seats out and do the same across the back. I've had the steering column out and I've fitted a new lower like the fabric bush thing. It's got a new plastic bush in the top, so the steering column's good to go. I've obviously done the work on the heater I showed you last time, which, let me see if we can get down here. As you can see, it's got that MPI heater valve in under the dash there. that is controlled by the knob. So that pipe then just disappears off and out of that hole there, which I can then just, hold on, I'm getting me light in the way here. I can just sort of attach that to either there or there, and the two pipes can just be nice and neat over this side then, and not where the old one used to go over like that. Looked a little bit untidy, so I've got a little bit more work to do. I've got no inner in the choke cable at the moment because that got all frayed. But to start with, I'm going to take the wiper motor back out and those bits, get that soundproofing off. I'm going to drop the heater back down inside the car and refeed the wiring back into its standard location. I've also fitted this, which should go down to the front, but I think this hose has been cut and it's not going to be quite long enough to reach, so might have to do something different with that. But yeah, it's starting to go back together. I made the decision to put the A-series back in before I get stuck into the conversion, because there's a few bits and pieces that, well, I want to see what the difference is with the sound with the A-series, with that soundproofing and the improved closed cell foam on the inside of the bulkhead and the floor and whatnot. But also, there's a measurement that I'd need when the car's sat on the ground. I want to know the height of the sump off the ground compared with sort of there and there and some other components, just so that when I put a new engine in, I know how high to mount it. Because obviously I don't want to mount it too low that it's going to hit everything. I don't want to mount it too high that the bonnet's not going to fit. So yeah, there's a few little bits that are useful to have an A-series in for. I'm quite sure that this video is now past 10 minutes, and I try and keep them below then. Just because people get bored. If the video's too long, it gets a bit boring, doesn't it? There's a lot of videos to watch out there, so you don't want to be spending all your time watching mine. So that'll do for this one. I'm going to carry on putting some more bits back together on the engine, put the wiring back in the standard place, finish off the soundproofing inside the car, get the carpet refitted, and hopefully I won't be far off ready to try out my new clutch and see if it leaks oil still, which is irrelevant now really, because I'm going to change the engine onto. But that engine swap thing is going to take a long time. Something I'd like to do is get a front end cut that I can bolt a subframe in, and I can build the subframe and the engine, mount the engine into that without having the car off the road. That would be quite cool, but we'll see. It's plenty to do for now, so thanks for watching this one. I'll see you again quite soon with the next one. Cheers.